welcome to a special edition of the Peak Physique podcast. As you can tell, I'm not in the basement. I'm at the beautiful Peak Physique studio, along with Laura Hedden, my special guest today. And today we're going to get to know Laura a little bit better. She's an awesome trainer here at Peak Physique, and her story from the beginning to today is fascinating, which is why I asked her to be on. And with that being said, let's dive in. As always, this podcast is intended on being really short, sweet, and to the point. And with that being said, welcome, Laura. Thanks for joining me today.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be on the podcast. It's my first ever, so I'm excited.
Oh, I'll try my best not to make it a complete disaster on you, okay?
Sounds
So, like I said, the goal of putting you on the podcast was to get everybody in the gym, and I guess whoever's listening to the podcast out there to know you a little bit better. So, with that being said, let's jump in. So, tell us about your background in sports because I just think it's awesome where you came from.
Sure. It started pretty young, actually, in elementary school. During recess, I would be out playing with the boys, playing soccer. And I had never done any organized sports before, but I was like, oh, that looks fun. So I jumped in, and actually, my second grade teacher saw me playing and was like, oh, you should join a team or a league. So that's actually how I got started. And I told my parents, and they entered me into like a rec soccer league in second grade. So that was my first ever involvement in sports. And then from there, I was just like addicted. I loved it. I wanted to play basketball as well. I did taekwondo. I'm a black belt.
I
Fun
had no
fact. Yep,
idea.
yep. So I
Wow,
did
that's
that.
awesome.
Yeah. I started taekwondo actually when I was 5. So and I got a black belt by I was 13.
Good for you.
I don't know how much I still can use it now, but it's kind of a cool thing. So yeah, from there I played all throughout middle school, high school. I played premier soccer in high school as well as for my high school team. I played basketball in high school, and I also played lacrosse senior year of high school because all my friends were doing it. I was like, oh, I'll do it too. And then from there, I played soccer in college. I actually started at University of Rhode Island, and I thought my soccer career was over. I went to that school. It's a big school. It's a D1 school. So I didn't play like an organized soccer there, but I missed it so much. I missed being on a team. I missed the competitiveness of it. I missed the training. So I then transferred to Clark University in Massachusetts, and there I played D3 soccer. And it was great. It was a good mix of like training, but not over the top, so I could still focus on my school. And I played soccer all the way up until I turned 30. I tore my ACL, and then I was like, I'm gonna hang up the boots again and not play. But just this year, I started playing soccer again. So 3 years later,
Can't stay away, guys. You just can't stay away from what
can't
you love.
stay away.
And
Yeah.
all the while that you were an athlete, I assume you were in the gym, kind of enhancing your skills, exercising.
Yes, especially in college, we in the off season too. We were in the weight room. We did like strength and conditioning, kind of like plyometric type work. And I loved it. I think I like that just as much as like playing a game.
Good enough.
So yeah.
Right on. Okay, so another really fascinating thing about you is that you shifted professions after kind of being an adult in the world already, right? And you decided to become a coach just a few short years ago. What was the inspiration to make the big change?
Yeah, so I went to school to be a forensic scientist, which I worked at the Milwaukee Crime Lab for 8 years. So that's my background. And probably around year 5, I knew like this is not exactly what I want to do, but it was a steady job, pretty good income, good benefits. That's kind of hard to beat. And I feel like a lot of people stay in jobs for that reason. But then COVID hit, and like literally all I had, I felt like at the time was my job, and I was like, okay, well, this is just not cutting it. It's not making me happy. I loved my coworkers, which was like the thing keeping me there. But then COVID hit, and I was home. So from there, what inspired me, I kind of like dug deep and just asked myself, uh, what were my passions as a child? And I think a lot of us should ask that because it really made me think. That's before like society, like, molds us or like tells us what we should be. So again, going back to that, I loved sports. I loved being in a team environment. I loved being around people. I loved the competition. I loved helping other people like become more competitive. So I just kind of like fought back to that and tried to translate it into the real world. Like, okay, well, how can I use that in terms of like a profession? And I toyed with the idea of physical therapy because that's like again a lot of sports involvement, helping people recover and get back to full strength. But it was a lot of school to go back to, and I didn't necessarily want to do that, and money. So personal training was kind of like the next like moment. I had lots of friends that were personal trainers and loved their job. So I was like, all right, I'll look into getting a certification and just start from there. Like start working at a gym. This was the second gym I
Yep.
started at really early on. So that's kind of that inspiration. And then also my mom, I want to mention was a big inspiration because she lost over 100 pounds when she turned like 65.
Yeah.
So I just saw how that affected her life drastically. Like she was so much more present, so much happier, like active with her grandkids. And
Okay.
like I just was like, if I can help one other person like reach that goal and affect the people around them, like I love that. I think that's so cool.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you've been doing that. We can vouch for that here at the gym. So that kind of is a good segue into my next question. So when it comes to one-on-one training, you have a philosophy that or an approach to how you train. So tell us more about your philosophy, your approach, more specifically to like one-on-one coaching.
Sure. So when a person or client comes to me interested in one-on-one training, I really just like want to get to know them first and like where they're at in their life, what kind of battles they're facing, what goals they have, what where do they want to be, and then I just try to tailor a program to their goals, where they're at. I also do assessments and I see how their body's working together, if there's any imbalances that we need to work on, things like that. A lot of clients that I have are women, and a lot of them want weight loss, is a lot of my clientele. And when they come to me, they have a mindset of like maybe being hesitant to lift weights or especially lift heavier weights because they think maybe they'll get like bulky or too much muscle.
Start looking like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah. So I try to kind of like break their mindset on that. And a lot of them think they just need to go like fast cardio all the time. And really, the key to like a good weight loss program, I believe, is like lifting weights and heavier weights. So yeah, that's kind of my philosophy. I love it. And then I love when the client they're with me for a couple of months and they start feeling stronger and they're like, oh, okay, like this is how it should feel to like actually feel stronger. So I just love the mindset switch as well.
It sounds like you really enjoy like the weight loss process.
Yeah, I
Got to
do.
see your
I
mom through
do.
that.
I have a lot of clients that want the weight loss process, and I enjoy that. But then I have some clients that are like athletes, and just with my background, like I really enjoy like training them as well. They're trying to get quicker, stronger, for on the field like performance. So I really like that. Both types of clients as well.
Yeah, right on. Yeah. So next question that is kind of into the whole training concept. Something that a lot of us trainers deal with is, or I guess people in general out there, myself included, exercise boredom is a challenge many of us encounter.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do yourself to avoid that boredom when it comes up? To keep the workouts going.
So How I like to train for strength is strength training 3 to 4 times a week, rotating those workouts. Battery. Okay.
Good.
Okay.
Sorry about
Um,
that.
rotating those workouts and changing those workouts up every like 4 to 6 weeks. So just staying kind of consistent with changing up my strength workouts. That helps prevent boredom. But then also, as I said earlier, like I'm pretty active. So I love playing soccer. I love running when the weather is not too hot. I'm not a summer runner. I like fall. This winter, I'm gonna get back into swimming. So like joining maybe the WAC and doing some swimming. Um, I like cycling classes. So I really just try to switch up, especially since I am in a gym a lot of the time doing strength training for myself and for other people. I like to do other stuff. So like, making a variety of exercises.
Keeping it interesting.
Yeah.
You like to compete too, right?
Yeah, I do. That's I like soccer. Really, I was missing that. And so this year I was like, I'm gonna go back.
That's kind of why I asked that question, because we're all going to experience that, especially if you've been exercising a long, long time.
Mm-hmm.
It's not always fun, especially for us. We're always in the gym, and you just got to be creative and find ways that you get a spark. For me,
Right.
it's kickboxing or just competition in general, like you. So
Yep.
keep looking for that thing if you haven't found it yet, you guys.
Yes.
Getting in leagues and competing in like a long-term season is a really good way to stay engaged.
And plus, like, you make friends with the people around you and they hold you accountable as well. So I really like the team aspect of it and the competition.
Definitely.
Yeah.
That's one reason why group classes really work too.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like you're competing in a sport, but you still have that bond. You get like almost, if you're familiar with being in a team sport, the practice aspect of it.
Yes. Yep.
Suffering together.
Exactly.
All right, so this next question, it's cheesy, I'll admit it, but I got asked this at an interview when I was interviewing for a job at Highland Fitness in Eau Claire, and I just kind of like to hear what people have to say when I ask it. So, if you were stranded on an island and you had your choice and just one fitness tool that would be your fitness tool for life, assuming no one ever found you, what would it be and why?
No one ever found you.
Let's hope that doesn't happen.
So I love kettlebell training. So my answer would be kettlebells. Just think they're you can do so much with them. With complexes, that means like doing a bunch of exercises back to back to back using the one kettlebell. So like doing a squat, then a body row, then a clean, then a press. So just like using that one weight for a lot of different exercises, I think. And also, it can get your cardio going as well. So you can do strength and cardio with them. Yeah. If you look at my Instagram, I feel like you'll see mostly kettlebells are being tossed around. So
I like it. I like it. Just so happens that Leah, we were having this conversation earlier. I said kettlebell. She said barbell.
Did she?
Yep.
All right, team kettlebell.
2 for kettlebell. All right, Laura. So that's all the questions I have for you today. Thanks again for coming on.
Yeah, of course.
And thanks for spreading good health. Thanks for being such a good support system at Peak Physique. Can't say enough how much we love having you here.
Yes, and I love working here, and I love all the members. It's just so much fun. So thanks for having me on.
Heck yeah, I hope you guys found this to be a good podcast today. And if you're interested in working with Laura or just Peak Physique in general, you can find our information in the description from this podcast. Reach out to me via email, and we'll get you all set up.